Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today. As we've reached our price target of 61,000 US dollars, exactly as we predicted a week ago. And now that we've reached this destination for Bitcoin, I want to talk about what the next move is going to look like, if we're going to see continued upside or if we're going to come to retest the previous all-time high, and what the downside potential could look like if that were to happen. And then we'll take a look at what's happening to Ethereum. Exactly like we predicted, we're seeing more weakness with Ethereum than Bitcoin, as we've yet to revisit the $2,000 level. I want to talk about what the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is doing to Ethereum right now and how that's going to affect the Ethereum to US dollar price. And then we'll take a look at traditional markets as the futures markets have opened up today. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Abeidi. If you appreciate this Sunday content, remember to like this video. I first want to talk about exactly what's happening to Bitcoin. You can see here, just as we predicted a week ago, we've reached our price target of 61,000 US dollars based on the schematics of this ascending triangle. This is where I expected us to find some resistance, and it's exactly what's happening right now. And as I mentioned in our video yesterday, I wanted to see how Bitcoin was going to act at these higher levels. And the good news is Bitcoin has been doing very well above 58,353, which is the previous all-time high. And so right now for me, I do not want to see Bitcoin come down below the previous all-time high at 58,353. Now, is that asking too much from Bitcoin? Well, it could be, because if you look at the total cryptocurrency market, you can see we have already revisited the previous all-time high and even a little bit below that. And so this factors in altcoins as well. But of course, Bitcoin is the majority of the total cryptocurrency market. But are we asking for too much to say that Bitcoin shouldn't come down to retest the previous all-time high? I don't think so. If we're truly in a bullish environment, then from here we should not come down and close any hourly or 4-hour candles below 58,353. If we start to close hourly or 4-hour candles below 58,353, which is the previous all-time high, then in my opinion, this is going to confirm itself as a higher high. And what that means is this consolidation period above 49,700 in the current weekly open, which is sitting just at that $50,000 level, becomes our open game for Bitcoin in the next couple of days, into the next couple of weeks. And that's not a bad thing. Of course, as you guys know, as long as we're above 49,700 in the weekly open, in my opinion, things are extremely bullish in the midterm for Bitcoin. However, I do want to address the fact that if we start to close hourly or 4-hour candles below 58,353, then I believe this is a higher high, and that this could see a continued consolidation period within the range of 49,700 and 58,353. However, if Bitcoin proves itself as extremely bullish, it should not come down to close hourly and 4-hour candles below 58,353. And if that's the case, then there is a very high chance we see continuation to the upside. And if that were to happen, then I believe we would see a very similar move to what we've already seen, especially if we've seen a continuation, and that could take us towards the $70,000 level. Now understand, the confirmation of this, in my opinion, is going to come if we start to see price action come above 61,800 and we start to see a lot of good volume come in. Then that could be a confirmation of a continuation of this trend to the upside. And that would mean that Bitcoin is still in price discovery, and we're still trying to identify the more reasonable intrinsic price for Bitcoin. But until we start to see that happen, we're going to have to watch Bitcoin at this level. Of course, since we just broke through and we've only had one daily candle close so far after this breakout, it is a very premature breakout, and we have to keep our eyes open on what the price action is telling us. But realize this, on the 6-hour chart, which is a very influential chart, you can see we had the 50 period cross above the 100 period, and this was on the 7th of February, and Bitcoin was at $38,000, and that took Bitcoin all the way to $57,000. Well, guess what? For the first time since that happened, we saw another crossover of the 50-day over the 100-day. Does that mean we see another parabolic rally towards that $70,000 level? Well, if we were to take the schematics of when that initially happened and what that rally took us to, guess what? Where does that lead us to once again? Around that $70,000 area. And so understand that at this point, there is a potential Bitcoin continues into price discovery. That's really going to depend on what type of volume we start to see. And a lot of this will also have to do with what happens to traditional markets. The S&P 500, for example, has already opened. The futures markets have opened. You can see here we have a new weekly open coming in this week, and we have yet to break the previous all-time high. And we've seen a lot of correlation with the S&P 500 and Bitcoin. You can see here we had this bounce on the 50-day, another bounce here, and the same exact thing for Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin was showing a lot more strength as we initially bounced on the 50-day, but then the second bounce, we didn't even come down to test the 50-day. We came close to it. Of course, you can consider this a test, a very bullish test, as we talked about a week ago, and that's why we saw this already break a new all-time high, with S&P 500 has yet to break a new all-time high. So I think it's going to be worth watching to see how this is going to unfold in the next couple of days. It's still a very premature breakout, but I hope that gave you guys some perspective on the downside and upside targets. I do want to cover what's happening to Ethereum and realize that just as we predicted, we're seeing more weakness with the Ethereum US dollar chart than with Bitcoin. We did see the expected breakout from this bullish flag, of course, that took us pretty close to 1981, but because we missed this target, that shows a little bit of weakness in the Ethereum to US dollar price. Realize this, of course, if Bitcoin continues to go up, yes, we'll see Ethereum's price continue to rally, but it doesn't mean it's a better asset to be in. That has to do with the Bitcoin chart, of course. So this is really the important chart to watch when it comes to Ethereum, and realize that unfortunately we are still seeing continued weakness below the monthly and weekly open and previous weekly open. And you can see here, we're not necessarily seeing the type of price action that we want to see. Now, could this just be a flat bottom that could eventually trend up over time? That could also be the case. So we don't want to sit here and say that this is bearish, but we don't want to say that this is bullish just yet, because we are under the 100 and 200 period moving average for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, under the monthly open. But of course, we know on the weekly chart, we have strong support here at the 50-week moving average. So for us to have a cup of coffee here for another couple of weeks could be a possibility for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. What that would mean is we're going to have to follow Bitcoin a lot more than we follow Ethereum until we start to see movement here. Because if we get back above the 20-week moving average for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, especially if we get past 35,000 Satoshis, this could see a very parabolic run up. And I guarantee you, it's going to be a very parabolic breakout for the Ethereum to US dollar chart when that happens. But for now, we have to realize that we're not necessarily seeing the momentum that we want with Ethereum. And so it could be the time to just kind of let it sit in the coffee maker and percolate for a little bit, and we'll revisit the Ethereum price maybe a week from now to see, is there going to be some more momentum. But for now, below the 20-week moving average, in between the 50-week moving average, it's really going to just kind of be a bull and bear fight for the next couple of days, in my opinion, when it comes to Ethereum to Bitcoin charts. We will continue to monitor that, but I just wanted to address that. Others dominance, nothing crazy here. We do have a sort of bearish weekly candle forming here. Of course, on the daily, though, nothing to worry about. I do expect a lot of continued strength for altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is coming up now to retest the 200-day moving average. This is some food for thought. We have to keep this on the table. We're also testing the 50-week moving average. But similar to Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, I don't know if we'll see too much movement here. So nothing to go home and tell grandma about. But we do want to talk about the DXY. So the DXY does look like it possibly could have seen a reversal here even before retesting the 200-day moving average. You can see we couldn't even come up to 92.62, which we know is a major level. We're already seeing this see reversals to the downside. Now realize that at this point, we do have the 100-day moving average sitting here, and on the weekly chart, we do have the 20-week moving average. If we start to come down below those levels, that's going to be extremely positive for Bitcoin and other assets, including stocks, precious metals, even real estate. So we will watch this, but if we stay above the monthly open and we just kind of chill above 91.015, it could be kind of like the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, where we stay here, kind of flatline, until we start to see strength in the future. So we will be watching the DXY, a lot of premature things on these charts. And then with the Bitcoin CME chart, we did form a $25 gap here. This candle high was at 58,725. This candle low is at 58,755. So right at 17 or 58,725, we do have a CME gap now. So we came down to partially fill that, but we didn't see a full fill of that. Just some food for thought. Hopefully we don't come down to that level, because of course we don't want to come to test this previous all-time high. And so a lot of things are brewing in the charts right now. I think we all are watching Bitcoin to see what it wants to do at this level. But just as we predicted, we reached our price target of 61,000 US dollars. And now that we are above the all-time high from 58,350, I would like for us to stay above this in order to assume continued action to the upside. And at that point, our next big even is 70,000. And so we do want to keep that in our, in our wallets here to realize that that right there could be the next target if we see continuation of upside. But if we break down from here, then of course, then we have to assume this is a higher high. And so that could be forming a sort of bear flag in the larger time frames, but since we're in a macro bull trend, it doesn't really matter as much. But we will address that if that ends up confirming as a higher high. I do want to give away one of my favorite books on investing, Trading Psychology, the Bible for Traders. If you want to enter into this giveaway, share this video and comment below, and you'll have a chance to win. I'll pick a winner for our video yesterday, and we'll wrap this Sunday video up. Let's see. Hugo Kruger says, bang, send me a message on Instagram, and you went ahead and won a book. Congratulations, Hugo. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see all of you on our Discord. It's an exciting time in the cryptocurrency market. I'm so glad that we had this drawn out a week ago because obviously it played out, and now it's all about what is Bitcoin going to do next. And so we'll be monitoring this, and of course, remember that $58,353 level is the key support right now for me. I don't want to see Bitcoin get below this level with hourly and 4-hour candles, full bodies and wicks below that. That would be a confirmation of a potential higher high. So hopefully you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching. Snipers out.